Life Tips by Ning. In today's video, I'm sharing explanations for the 57th hexagram in I-Ching called the gentle or the wind. Based on the image of the hexagram, both the external and internal trigrams are the same. It's the wind trigram. So if you look at the detailed arrangement of this trigram, it has two solid yang lines above and then one yin line laying underneath. It's simplifying that there's some empty space on the bottom that you can penetrate. So wind is, there's no shape, there's no form, you cannot see it, but it has a strong penetration ability. It's simplifying that in the old times, as a king trying to spread a new order or law throughout his kingdom, there's no current modern technology to broadcast it. So how do you gently influence so the people in your kingdom or in your reign will understand the change? That's the beauty of the gentler or using gentle persuasion. Go with the right timing, go with the right trend, go with the flow. Don't force things. That's the yin energy. But also repeat yourself over and over again. Eventually with time, you're like wind carrying a seed around and spreading the seed, and eventually people will get your new information because wind is over another wind. So it's saying repeat yourself over and over and over again, sending this new order. So eventually with time people will understand it. So that's the basic meaning of this hexagram. But what is it really teaching us? The positive of this wind trigram is super flexible and adaptable. It shifts constantly, adapts its flow with the shape of the obstruction, right? You can go around it and keep on going. So that's the strength of it. But what's the weakness and the risk? The risk is it might be too shifty. It might go left, go right, go east or west. You might lack this foundational core principle to make a decision on. It's like this person keep on being, have a lot of self-doubt or hesitation, keep on being wishy-washy, constantly having a wavering mind. That can be a demise for a key decision maker for anybody. It could result in this kind of by being overly hesitant, overly kind of being too humble, right? You lose the strength of being humble because you're losing this middle ground. You're losing that balance. And being overly humble might incur a lot of disrespect. You're not even having self-respect for that matter. How would you expect other people to respect us? So that's a real teaching of the gentle hexagram. Is teaching us this balance between yin and yang. On the surface, it's all about yin. It's like the wind. Be adaptable. Don't force people. Go with the flow. You're gently influencing people and give persuasion. That's the strength of this yin, but don't go overboard with it. You still need to back it up with the yang, which is your backbone, your own principle. So you're not following something blindly. So that's the core meaning of this hexagram. In terms of individual lines, the first line is simplifying you're at a very low position, and it's a yin line itself. So it tells you that this person is lacking significant self-confidence, has tons of hesitation and self-doubt. That's a very dangerous position to be in. You might lose opportunities by overthinking, by doubting yourself. So what should you do? Act like a soldier. Act like a military general. They're very decisive. They have this resolute, strong mind and mindset to take action. It encourages you to have this strong self-discipline to push through so that you can overcome self-doubt. Being unable to do that will incur quite a bit risk and lost opportunity for yourself. But if you're able to following the teaching of this having resolute discipline, you might overcome a difficult situation and turn it around. The second line is actually a good outcome. The reason is, even though by itself is still quite low positionally in the entire hexagram, actually the line description says wind sitting under the bed. This person is so humble to the point that you bend down and bow yourself even lower than the bed. That shows extreme humbleness. But what makes this positive versus incur misfortune is the key is who are you humble to? If you have this overly humble attitude to God, to the kind of the law of the universe, whatever the spiritual power, whatever your belief system is, if you have that overly humbleness to the right audience, show sincerity, they will in turn bless you. You get a lot of support from hidden resources, from godlike figures. However, if you have this overly humble attitude to other humans who might be in a higher position of power, that's called brown nosing, and you're losing your own self-respect and your own opinion, and that will incur a lot of danger. But the blessing for the second line is the reason it's blessed with good fortune is because you're showing humble and sincere attitude to the right audience, is to Almighty God, is for that spiritual power way beyond human control. The third line is an unfortunate one. The reason is this is in a transitional position from the internal wind to the external wind, super unsteady. It means this person is fickle and shallow. It's all superficial movements. It's like today I want to do this, and the second day suddenly you'll change your mind and go the opposite direction. That type of wishy-washiness will incur a lot of danger, destroy your own credibility, and incur much regret for yourself. The fourth line is a positive one, because even though positionally there's three main factors, right, to see the line's position. One is who is the corresponding line. Unfortunately, that one is not a check mark, because in fourth line in and first line in, they're the same energy repelling each other, so that's not a good one. But it actually has check mark for the second and third criteria. The second one is it's an in line in the in position, the even number position, so that's good. And the third factor is yin is actually sitting under a yang, is playing its default role of supporting the yang. So overall, even though you might have an initial regret, but it's saying by being placed in the right position, you'll gain a lot of strategic alignment. You can attract a lot of human or financial help and resources. By doing so, you're able to yield a lot of achievement, huge abundance, quite a bit of plentiful resources as a result of your alignment with all the people around you. So this is a very beautiful line showcasing how the gentle influence should be done. It's a good middle ground balance between the yin and yang. You're still having your own principle. You're not blindly following other people. That's why you're able to attract talented resources to support you and achieve great outcome. The fifth line, this one is a fascinating one because the line description used the 10 heavenly stems in the Chinese system. So if you watch the Bazi series, you have a better understanding of what they are. But specifically, this fifth line is saying 3 days before the yang medal and 3 days after the yang medal is supreme fortune. You get a lot of positive outcome. What does that really mean? First of all, yang medal, it means big change, reform. It's a big knife cutting through something. So you're introducing a change, order, or like a reform purpose. How do you achieve that grand goal? 3 days before yang medal is in fire. In fire meaning gently giving out that warmth, a lot of thorough thoughtfulness, preparation, being well prepared and planned for the reform event. 3 days after the yang medal is in water. In water is the ending stage of the 10 heavenly stems. So that means you carried this whole thing through. You didn't give up with plentiful preparation ahead of time and the spirit of carrying through, not giving up, you'll see the full completion of something. So that's saying you can lead a reform or endure change with meticulous preparation, which will lead to complete achievement and success. So that's kind of the beauty of when you use the wind energy successfully. It's so soft, but over time, with a long time, you can erode rocks into different shapes. So even though it's a yin energy, it can be super strong and persuasive to change something hard, way harder than itself in nature. Last but not least, this line is top line has the same problem because it's losing this balanced position. It's way too humble. You're putting yourself down for no reason, even though you're in a high up role. So losing that boundary and losing your self-respect will actually incur a lot of disdain, rudeness to yourself. It's self-incurred because your own lack of respect, your own lack of yang energy for your behavior. And this is kind of the law of the universe. You kind of attract what you're fearful of or what you strongly wish for. In this case, this person is so scared of bad news, confrontation, any burden or responsibility. So I'll just say yes to everything. That's being overly humble and lacking principle. By doing so, you're trying to avoid more headache, but in reality, you will incur and attract a lot of risk, burden, opponents because of that. So that's the explanation of the 57th hexagram. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.